Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Youth Baller Network. We've had so many great submissions this week, it was kind of hard to fight through them all, but we hope you'll enjoy our top plays. It's a special edition of the YBN. With the Stanley Cup Final going on, we thought we'd bring on a Stanley Cup champion. So former Cup champion, Hockey Hall of Famer Luc Robitaille will be our featured guest for this episode. Enjoy. Our first video features Grant Wasserstein, a 12-year-old from the Westwood Rec Center Lakers. Tie game, 11 seconds left. What are you gonna do? Wasserstein looking as cool as ice on the buzzer beater. More like Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson. Way to go, Grant. Our next submission comes from Jackson Slater, a 4-year-old at the Fun and Sports Camp. Now here's a little background. Jackson unfortunately got poked in the eye on the play right before this. He was going to come out of the game, but with a kickoff coming, his father knew he had the opportunity to return the kick. So he put him back in the game and he took out his cell phone.
Run the other way, run the other way. Go, Jackie, go, Jackie! Go, Jackie, go, Jackie! Yeah! That's how you bounce back, baby.
Seriously? We should call this kid Bo Jackson Slater. Congratulations, that was awesome. Our next video features 11-year-old Justin Murray of the Dion Red of the Junior Kings Hockey League. And he's on defense, doesn't have the puck, but makes a big play to save a goal. Now that may have been a penalty, but Justin was doing his job. He protected his goaltender and he prevented a goal. Our viral video this week comes from 11-year-old Cadence of the Gym Magic Gymnastics Club. And we all know that gymnastics is one of the more popular events that we're going to be watching this summer when the Olympics take center stage in Rio. We head to the WAG Ontario Championships where Cadence's coach had an incredible save. Now, they may have not stuck the landing, but Coach Vitaly Laurentide gets a 10 in my book. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome in our featured guest this week. He was a perennial all-star in the NHL, a Stanley Cup champion, and yes, a Hockey Hall of Famer. He is Luc Robitaille.
Hey, that is me. Thanks for having me.
Well, Luc, we love having you with us here on the YBN. I want to start with the Stanley Cup Final because we're in the middle of this series right now between the Sharks and the Penguins, and everyone always says it's the hardest trophy in sports to win. Why do you think that's so?
Well, you know, it is such a long, the playoffs are so long, you know, and then when you look at it in hockey, it's such a physical game and you play every 2 nights.
How about drawing back on your experience? Because you went to the Cup early on with the Kings, and of course you guys did not win, but you were able to capture the Cup finally towards the latter end of your career with the Red Wings. What was that journey like for you?
Well, the first time that we went there, I'll never forget, 1993, I remember looking at Rob Lake in the locker room and said, we'll be back next year. You think you'd come right back the next year, and then, man, it's tough to get back in the finals in 2002. I remember thinking, I don't want to miss my chance this time.
Could you have ever imagined that when you were younger? You know, when you're skating on the ponds up in Canada, could you ever imagine that you'd be a Stanley Cup champion, a perennial all-star, and even a Hockey Hall of Famer?
No, you know, when I was a kid, I just wanted to play the game.
Do you have a fondest memory of when you were playing either junior hockey, pee-wee hockey?
I think probably one of my best memories playing midget AAA. Before, you know, I turned to that junior and pro level. At the time, I thought I would be like a center. Like I loved Gretzky, so I was always trying to be the centerman. And my coach that year, he said, well, if you're going to make the team, you're going to have to play left wing. I said, sir, I'll play anywhere you want me. If you want me to be a goalie, I'll be a goalie player on your team.
Is that some advice that you would give to the kids playing sports nowadays? Not just hockey, but any sport, to listen to your coach, and if he wants you to play another position, be open to it?
Yeah, because it always comes down, what sacrifice are you willing to pay to be successful? I mean, whether you want to be a hockey player, a football player, or an actor or a singer, you're getting paid for someone to watch you. That means there's a million people that believe they can be you. You know, so that means I tell my kids, because they're in the entertainment world, I said, that means you have to be willing to pay a price in your mind more than 1,000,000 people. Like there's a bunch of people practicing hockey today, but you should think if you want to play in the NHL, you're going to have to practice harder than all the people that you see in the rinks, and willing to pay a price that they might not be willing to pay to get to the level to maybe live your dream. If your dream is to be a hockey player or whatever you want to be.
Now, I want to talk about your foundation. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
We work with kids, emancipated foster kids, and we basically we take kids that are going to graduate high school, and we make sure when they want to go to college, we're going to see them all the way through. What people don't realize, a lot of those kids end up, when they get emancipated and they go on their own, they don't have any support. I think that the rate of success in college, only 3% of those kids end up being successful. And I think about 60% of those kids end up homeless.
Well, Luc, thank you so much for joining us on the Youth Baller Network. It was an absolute pleasure, and best of luck moving forward.
Hi, you're welcome.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Youth Baller Network. If you enjoyed the interview with Luc Robitaille, be sure to check out our YouTube page for the extended interview. Luc gives some thoughts on the current Stanley Cup final between the Sharks and the Penguins, shares some stories about his career, and of course, some advice for the kids. And tune in next week, because we go from one Stanley Cup champion in hockey to a World Series champion in Major League Baseball as Kevin Millar joins the program.